Hello everyone, this is Tammy, back with another New Vision embossing, where I take a bunch of my old ones and a lot of times mix them with my new ones, dies or embossing folders. Now, this one, I used the coordination paper. I used it on a lot of them. I love it, but I want to show you something that I've done. These are the folders that I used, created for you with love, and these. Now these were another thing, never used, never. I had an idea in my head that I wanted to create, a square and have the embossing folder, say love, L-O-V-E, in a square in the center of the card. Kind of like I've done, if you've seen some of the other videos, it kind of goes a little bit along with it. But if you see that close up, when I emboss the first one and I get a good embossing, then I put it on, and this, whatever covers the other embossing, flattens it out. That won't work. So I did it again here, covers it. Terrible. So this is what I did, and I've showed this on another video. This is what I did. You take the raised part of your embossing folder, and I cut it down to just, I think I used a blade on this. You can use the scissors, though. I've used the scissors since. I've done this to a lot of folders. Cut it down all the way. I had to do the sides too. I had to do the whole thing, because if you look, any of the side one is going to do, and the top one, as I had them done. So I cut it down. Now, when you're embossing over something now, you don't get it, because even though it covers it, it doesn't put the pressure on it to make it flat, to flatten it. Okay? So then, this was in my head, and I had to create a way to do this. So this is what I created. Now I have a bunch of samples here. First of all, I just went with this, like I showed you, this is a 3.5 inch card. And what did I do this embossing? 3 inch. So you cut a 3-inch square. I went around that piece of paper 4 times to get that effect. Now this, I use these on a lot of my embossing things, also the lowercase die from my creative time. Just a thick, it cuts good, and it just, they're easy to work with. I do have a Cuttlebug one, but it's kind of thin, and once I cut it out, it's easy to bend and everything. So I just really like this one. And I did pop this up, but that's how simple. Oh, and this is on the coordination paper, and I did sand it, and that's why I use the cream. I use a lot of the cream because it brings out, even though it's not quite cream in the core, it's like a light green, the cream still looks nice. So then I decided to run it on a long, I could just run them, this way. Just keep going here, one right after another. And then I came up with, through trying that, and I did that on the black cardstock. And this one I did use white. Even though it's almost a light gray, I did use the white. Look what I did here. I need to zoom out a little bit to show this one. I just did it, I'm not sure what size. I think it's by, 3 by 6. 3 by 6 card. And I used a scallop, and I just cut those, and again put the lowercase alphabet die. So that is how easy that is. And I do have another card that I did. This one I didn't use any coordination paper. I just used my cream cardstock, and this one I took ink, vintage photo, and I actually put it on a dauber, and then I just went over it. And I did use my Copic markers, because I did cut a bunch of these letters out in cream, and I just went over it in my Copic marker. And now on the corners here, I did something else. And I want to show you what I did with that. I took another die. This was my die. I have it cut and you'll see why. I just really didn't know what to do with this. I mean, look what I cuddlebugged it and thought, what could I do? I could cut one out, maybe put a word going there, but I just really didn't know. It looks cute as corners. Really didn't know what to do. So, this is what I did. I cut this a little different. It's still, the reason I cut it this way is it gave me 2 dies in one. You can see my cut line. And this is still a die here because it's attached. It's still a die and it will work for a corner. Now this one is cut. This one, if you were cuddle bugging right near it, because I haven't cut the back, the raised part yet. But as you see, I was able to do that. And so then I just got one, this one instead of the double. Now, I do have a little line here. This one I cut with my knife. I do want to sand it just a little bit here. I have a little bit of rough edge because I was kind of cutting it hard with my knife. So once I get rid of that, it's a little rough edge, so it's leaving me a little line. I don't know if you can see it here. That'll go away. I just need to file that just a little bit. And I have another sample here. I kind of went around the whole thing with just, kind of the middle, kind of a border, but, left some space. So, and I have that line, but I need to file. I just need to get some sandpaper and file that down a little bit. But see how easy and see how I've manipulated some of my folders, and I just love them now. So, well, I hope that inspired you to cut up your folders. Well, not really, but it does, it does make them work better. You can do a lot more with them when they're like this. Like this, I could have never done this together. Now I could have done individual, I guess, and but this is a one running strip, and then you'd have a space between them. I mean, there are some things. I did that on my first video in this series with the X's. It was kind of a squared thing, but sometimes you don't want to do that. You want it together. You could run that on the bottom of a whole bunch of them on a scrapbook page even. So, just some different ideas. Hope you enjoyed it. I had lots of fun doing this one. Thanks for watching.